We are live. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Welcome in, welcome in. Welcome in, welcome in. Let's get things started. Welcome to Inner Self Podcast, y'all.
Feel like it's been a minute since I've been on here.
I know, right? It's been a little month ago.
Life been happening and life and all the things that people say. But yeah, but we making it.
We here.
Here again.
We are here. Hey, y'all, share the live. Make sure y'all share the live. We have a very special guest in the building. You know what I'm saying? Ain't gonna say too much. I'm gonna let him go and introduce himself in a few minutes. But y'all tap the screen, share the live. Let me do the same. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh, okay. All right. See. Boiler than 40. Smooth over here. Okay, let me share it. This is the first thing I know. How y'all feeling tonight? How y'all feeling this evening? Welcome in. Hey, sister, cousin, I see you. Y'all share the live, share the live. Hello. That's why I was thinking like horses, like on Jumanji with the stampede coming on through. We good up here.
How long you want to start?
Yeah, I'm about to go and get started. Let me turn me down over here. Right. All right, y'all. So we're about to go ahead and get started. Welcome to Inner Self Podcast. I'm Keisha Nicole Ivy Latimer.
I am Mr. Brandon Latimer.
We are the Latimers, and this is Inner Self Podcast, y'all. It's been a minute. It feels good to be here, you know what I'm saying? Like you just said, life be doing with its thing, but we keep our chin held high and we keep going, right? Remember, we're all about healing. We talk about it all from childhood up until today, the good, the bad, the glorious, with each and every special guest we have in the building. I'm going to let our special guest introduce himself before I get to running my mouth already. Let's get things rolling.
Well, I'm Deric Durden. I'm a motivational speaker, coach, mentor. I'm on the board of a nonprofit organization called Torch, which is about teenagers overcoming obstacles, transitioning from high school into college and just really becoming productive individuals. And so I really speak about the topics of mental health. I talk about making positive decisions, and I also just try to lean and pour in and give alternatives to some of the things that some people from our neighborhoods would have to face and help them overcome those things with positive and different alternatives.
Okay. Where can people follow you?
Follow me on Facebook.
I'm going to ask you that twice, by the way.
For sure. Okay. Deric C. Durden. On Instagram, Deric C. Durden. TikTok is Deric D90. And Deric is spelled D-E-R-I-C. No K's, no none of that. And I also have my own website, Deric Durden LLC. And you got to reach me on all those different platforms.
All right. Okay.
Hey, I'm Mr. Latimer. I mean, you can just really see me when you see her, you know what I'm saying? So basically, I'm just, whatever links she dropped, and you probably know, like, I'm linked into it too, so yeah.
Oh, yeah, LinkedIn too, I'm on that too.
See.
But y'all know I'm Mr. Latimer. Like I said, we can get it going. So, Mr. Durden, how was your weekend, bro?
My weekend was pretty chill. I really didn't do too much. I just really hung out. Really, I'm in a transitional phase where I'm trying to get a lot of projects done.
Right.
I just started going back to college to get my digital marketing certificate, certification, and also I'm writing a co-author in a book, and I'm also about to do a conference here in June about helping kids be preventative from going to prison and help some of those guys who's transitioning from prison back into society.
Okay.
So when you say
That's what's
writing
up.
with the co-author, you said?
Co-author in the book.
Yeah, so yeah, but that's pretty dope to write a piece in a book, or like you're gonna write a page or
No, well, what it is I partner with a young lady who, what she does is she get multiple people to write their stories.
Mm.
And so people who actually been through some things who can encourage and inspire other people. And so everybody is writing their own story. Just so happened that I get the last story. And my story, the average story is about 2,000 to 3,000 words.
Yeah.
But I get to write a story from 7,000 to 10,000 and basically be the ending of the book and, get ready to bring it to publishing.
So what's the book she writing about?
It's just about our different stories, how different people went through different things and how.
Oh, so nothing specific.
No, it's
just
nothing
anything
specific.
you want to shed light on. Okay.
Really just telling your story. And that way the people that read it might be able to relate to your story or somebody else's story that's in the book. And that might encourage and help them get through something that they're facing.
Oh, that's what's up. Men and women, just men?
Well, she does 2 separate books for men and women. I'm in the men's book, but she has already done one woman's book, but she's on the verge of doing another woman's book also.
Okay, who is she?
Her name is Shatoria.
Hey, Shatoria, shout out to you. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. Where are you from? Born and raised in Dallas?
Yes, I am a Dallas native, born and raised. I'm originally from South Dallas. I grew up in the 44 Oakland area until 5th grade, and then I transitioned into the Pleasant Grove. I went from Charles Rice.
Oh, Pleasant Grove. Okay.
I went from Charles Rice to A.W. Blaney, where, my Pleasant Grove career took off from there. And I guess we'll get more into that as we
definitely will. You have siblings, you only child.
I have 4 sisters. I have 1 big sister, and I have 3 little sisters, 2 by my
you
mom.
right there in the middle.
Yeah, 2 by my mom, 2 by my dad. But, I have a big sister who, we done been through it, but, she still supports me now. And it's been a journey, to say the least, just all the things that I had to transition through. And my 2 younger sisters, they really been there for me the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
In the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I really appreciate that support, because that support really makes a difference.
Right.
Because you can go through something, you don't have support, you feel like the weight of the world on your shoulders.
Yeah.
But when you have somebody there to support you, it might still be heavy.
But, it's a different type of way you hold the load, you know what I'm saying, carry it. That's very true. Support is important, especially from your family.
Yes.
It still matters. People society may try to convince us that life for family. But no, if it's fixable and what you can do, do that.
Of course.
You the only boy?
I'm the only boy.
And you the only boy. So how does that feel? Is that pressure on y'all?
Well, see, I'm the baby boy, so it's like it's a
I wonder, what's the
I
difference?
get spoiled a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I kind of get away with a little stuff, and it's kind of like everybody looking out for me,
Mm-hmm.
They already older, and I'm gonna be looking up to them anyway. Hey, how you do this and what to do that. So I guess they just already shower me type thing.
Right. What's the age gap between you and your siblings?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
My older sister is about a year older than me. And then my next younger sister is 5, 9, and 10 years apart.
Did you have any responsibility being the only boy? Was there any pressure? Take me there as growing up, especially where you grew up at.
No, because I was separated basically, especially in the beginning. Mm-hmm. I was raised by my grandmother.
Okay.
My dad had his 2 daughters. My mom had her 2 daughters, but I was raised by my grandmother.
If you don't mind me asking why, what happened?
At a young age, I just felt like my parents were doing their own thing. My mom, she left home at 15, so she was doing what she knew to do as a 15-year-old, trying to survive in society on her own. And, some of the decisions that she made probably wasn't the best decisions, but can you really blame at the end of the day? And so my dad, he had his own relationship. He was married or whatever, and he was doing his thing, raising his 2 daughters too, until eventually, like I said, when I moved to Pleasant Grove. I moved with him.
Okay.
But up until that point, you know, I was being raised by my grandmother.
Okay. Is grandma still here?
No, grandma been going for a while now. She's been going for.
Who is that? Who inspired you growing up, or would you say?
I can't say she inspired me, but she held it down. And that's more important than inspiring.
Right.
She gave me that foundation because, you know, at one point she was disabled, but she taught me everything that I needed to know as a man. I knew how to wash my own clothes. I knew how to cook. I knew how to iron my own clothes because that's what I had to do because that's what she taught me to do. And so what she instilled in me is something that is still, that I carry with me to this day. So did she really inspire me? Looking back, now she may inspire me, but going through that process, she just gave me a strong foundation to build on who I was and to become the man who I needed to be.
Okay. So with that change with your grandmother and living with your dad, how was that like?
I went from being basically the only child and to coming into an environment where I still, especially in the beginning, I didn't feel like I fit in.
Why?
Because just the environment, the family setup was already set up, and I was just implementing into it. So I became a part of something that was already built.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense. And so being implemented into that, one, you have to first find your way. You got to figure out, how do I fit into this situation?
Right.
And it's a part of like becoming part of your identity. This is my family, but I'm different. I was raised different, you know, because my sisters, they went to Carter. They were basically raised in a field. I'm from South Dallas. But moving to the Grove, my identity was, you know, South Dallas, Pleasant Grove. And they were really like Oak Cliff, you know, and just the dynamic within itself, South Dallas and Oak Cliff is not alike. Pleasant Grove and Oak Cliff is not alike. I mean, just even at Samuel High School, we had the #1 pregnancy rate in the state.
Fun fact, they went to school together, y'all. So I have, like, later in the interview, I have questions for them as well. So yeah. So y'all had the #1 pregnancy rate.
Yeah.
Wow.
99, 2000?
I went in 2003 when I graduated. You know,
I remember that, man. Every time you walk through the house, somebody with a bed on both sides. You know, you walk in the house. I be like, what the hell going on? Like, who? Probably the same person, like, probably knocked up 5 or 6 times. Like that.
So it's a transition, and then you in school, and that's that peer pressure out there. Then you're trying to figure out who you are. What would be your reaction back then with that? Like when that was bottling up, or how would you really handle that then?
Okay, well, I'm pretty sure he already remembers and knows it, but I was a star football player and I was a star basketball player. I was a quarterback and I was a point guard. Okay. And so there's always a level of popularity when you play sports. And so for me, that popularity, that sense of being accepted that I didn't get when I was young, it kind of fed me and fed my ego. But at the same time, I had anger issues. And so for not being raised by my mom and dad, there was a sense of neglect there. Yeah. There was a void. There was a place where I felt like I said in the beginning, I felt like I didn't feel I belonged. And so the sense of popularity of being a sports player and messing with multiple women, it gave me a false sense of acceptance. Because, you know, and understand that at the end of the day, those people who, quote unquote, associate with you, when it gets serious, when it comes to a time where you need them the most, they're not going to be there. And so, for me, like that popularity, it gave me a sense of acceptance, it gave me a sense of identity. But lo and behold, when I became a senior, that anger started to really erupt. So I went from the star point guard to the star quarterback, to getting kicked out of both the football and the basketball team my senior year.
Because of
my attitude. So I have letters from all of the major colleges to come play sports and academics. I still graduated as a Texas scholar, but at the same time, my talent got me in certain positions, but my character, my anger, displaced me from some of those great opportunities that I had. And so dealing with that anger in a negative way, it definitely ruined a lot of opportunities that I had.
So when was your aha moment with your attitude? Because, we tend to carry certain things from our childhood right on into our adulthood without even really thinking about it. So, like, what moment or what age were you when you realized your attitude is really getting in your way of you? You know what I mean?
I don't think there was a particular age. I went through a long process of introspection.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back and I realized that there were certain things that were always consistent no matter where I was. One of them is the favor of God. I've had favor over my life in anything and everything that I've done.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I've always been super smart. In pre-K, I was in talented and gifted classes. In junior high, I went to a OW home, which is an academy school. And so I've always been smart. I've always had favor. I always dress well, and I always play sports. And so going back and doing an introspection of myself, I realized that those consistent things that I noticed about myself were some of the principles that really make up who I am as my identity. Mm-hmm. Instead of being, as you know, Kool-Aid, somebody who was actually participating in street activity, when really and truly that wasn't my heart.
So what area of his life did you meet him? Like, what's your perspective until reunite today? Not reunite, but it is a reunite because it's been a long time.
20 plus years.
Like, literally. So what's the last few things you remember, like, when you was chilling with Deric? Or what would y'all even do? How did y'all even meet? Let's start there. How'd y'all meet?
You know what I'm saying? Really, Deric, him hooping. You know what I'm saying? We were in school. I see him in school, so whatever. Like the class, I wasn't no class person. I was in the highway in the streets or whatever when I was supposed to be in school. So all the time I see Deric, his friends and stuff, when they come to the rec and we all up in there hooping. You know what I'm saying? But in school, I would, I seen him, but I didn't really know him to hoop like that.
So you met him
I seen him at the rec type
gotcha.
thing. Everybody told the recreation was everybody's hangout spot. You know
what y'all used to do up there?
Hoop. Just live like it was our second home, eat, shoot, some things like hustle, just everything you need to do up there. Being a teenager, you know what I'm saying? So trying to figure life out. But shoot, it really kind of, in my mind, it kind of sheltered us from a lot of stuff that was on the outside in the streets, really, you know what I'm saying? We thought we was in the street, but where it kind of the block was, it was like still like a little, what can I call it? It was like it's a word. It was more like a
safe haven?
Yeah, a safe haven type thing, you know what I'm saying? Because we was doing stuff, but, you know what I'm saying, we had people in the community that curried. They were like, nah, man, you don't need to be doing that. You more better than that. You can do, I don't see you doing this, doing that. You know what I'm saying? But on the outside of that, where we still knew, like, toward the school and all that, you didn't have that, there was another hangout spot. It was more like, oh, yeah, you gotta get out there and go get that dog, or you can't even come around her type, for real. So you had to even have a choice. Or you like, shoot, I'm hanging out up here at the rec. Shoot, go down up here at the rec. The same people that I used to try to hang around, they would try to come up there. But I guess like now that I figured out their spirit wasn't made to be up there.
So y'all kind of created a family type situation up there.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's something that's needed today? Are there programs, or not even necessarily programs, but like recs or areas where it's the same type of safe haven y'all got that you know about, or is it needed?
I think it's both. There are some, you have different recreation centers, you have different platforms that are being built specifically because in this time, crime is so high. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of killing going on.
Right.
It's a lot of stuff that's going on that even I recently went to a city council meeting where they are actually trying to come up with solutions to figure out what can we do to avoid so much crime.
In Dallas specifically, or?
Yeah, it was a Dallas City Council meeting.
Okay.
And so they have these recreations, they have different places, the Boys and Girls Club, and all these different environments that have been created. But the thing of the matter is, what I really see is that a lot of the problems are starting at home.
Yeah.
You know, you might go to a recreation center, you might escape some things, but you still gotta go home.
Yeah. I get what he's saying on that, because it's like, I knew people I had friends, like tell little boy Blue and out there. Even though he used to come to the rec and hoop with us and hang out and chill with us, we was more like just relief from home. But when he go home, he didn't have nothing. His mom and daddy would argue, or they beat on him, or they beat on each other. He witnessing that. Because I done walked home with him a couple of times, and you know, like his dad coming, type shit. So I relate to that, because I remember my home there. That's probably why he turned to drugs like how he did, because he really didn't have nothing at home. But when he came to the rec, he had love, and you know what I'm saying, we heard about him, you know what I'm saying?
So let me ask y'all that. I'm about to curve the conversation, but I wanna ask y'all's perspective with what you just said. You know how you just said he didn't have anything at home, which a lot of people don't, especially nowadays, but had y'all at the rec. What do y'all feel like is missing for people to remember you do have somebody, even if you feel like you don't have anybody, although it takes yourself to get you up off your own feet? Like, what will it take for people to really realize, like, dang, like, you know what I mean? Because it seems like I even faced times where, especially when I was in my raw healing between 21 and 23, where I was saying to people, yeah, I didn't have nobody. I'm losing weight. Nobody said nothing. Now I understand it was time to isolate and be in solitude and really learn myself. But I was saying that, but the truth is, I had my husband, and I really didn't deserve him in that moment. I had friends, I had my village, but I didn't think about that. Like, what do y'all think it'll take for us to remind people you do have people, they have us, this is what we do?
I think like we speaking, it gotta be the action.
It seems like so many people be afraid to just trust that safe space.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. People be scared to trust it, but maybe if we, I ain't gonna say somewhat voice it, but you know, show them,
just
like a good way of showing them, you know, like a foreshadow, like you ain't got no choice but to see it like this now, like, I don't know.
Like with the city councilman, what were they suggesting? Like what routes to even take?
I mean, just to go back to your question, you gotta think about it. When you have individuals who have faced trauma so much, faced disappointment so much, faced different situations so much, it's going to be hard for them to open up and trust other people.
Right.
If your mother and your father hurt you, why would somebody who's not supposed to be responsible for you treat you any better than the people who's supposed to really care about you?
Right.
And so it's a trust thing. And especially in today's time where the lack of respect and the lack of so many different values that used to run through the thread of who we were as people back then, they don't really exist as much as they used to. So if I'm not going to respect you, then how will I feel, or how will you feel about opening up to me? And then you do have some people who may be in your corner, but they might not even know how to communicate. They might not know how to listen. They have their own things going on. And there's so many different layers to it that when I need to reach out to somebody, who do I choose?
Right.
And then once I do reach out, can they provide for me what I really need? Can somebody who has never received what I need, can they give me something that they don't possess?
Right.
And so just really changing your environment is one of the main things. But how do you change your environment when something is all you know?
Right.
And so, so it's just
want to step in that big, man.
But you're a mentor, right? And a life coach.
All right.
So, and then you work with the youth as well. That's like your main, what you do, or just in general, you motivational speak everywhere, right?
Yeah, everywhere, on different platforms.
So as a mentor and a life coach, how would a young person know that they can trust you with a certain background of, growing up that what you described?
One thing that I always say, trust is earned, not given.
Right.
So the process of being trusted is just that, a process. It's not just, I meet you, you cool, I'm going to open up here and give you everything. That's not how it works.
Right.
So you have to live by example. Each interaction is a building block on the level of trust that you have with an individual.
Right.
And so you just have to, one, be consistent. You have to be honest and open also.
Right.
And so you just continue to do that, and eventually that person will start letting down those walls. But the one thing about trust is it's hard to gain but easy to lose. And so all it takes is one mistake to everything that you have already built to tear it all down with one mistake also.
Right. Man, this is a much needed conversation. I was just about to say, yes. I'm over here I'm tuned into our own stuff, but I forgot to iterate in the beginning. Y'all can ask questions too. I'll see it in the chat as we carry on the conversation. If y'all want to ask him anything or ask us anything, you're more than welcome to do that. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you. You have another question before I jump to my next one?
Oh, yeah. Well, man, I think she already asked a little bit of it, but, like come work from with the things we was doing, and y'all little click and stuff doing, like, what made you change your mind, like, and just grow all the way, you know what I'm saying, straight. Like, so doing this, what you doing now?
I ran into a situation where I had to change.
That's understood.
What situation?
Where you have the same people you fighting with and shooting with, the pressure of the justice system comes into play, and they turn on you. They don't want no part of the results, but they want part of the action. Or so they say they want part of the action.
Right.
But when it comes down to really the consequences of those actions, they weren't ready to, stand up and stand 10 toes, as they say now, stand on business, when it was time to really stand on business. And so that really separated me. It opened my eyes to remember the acceptance that I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That was acceptance in my eyes, because we were doing what we were doing together. But at the end of the day, acceptance is not always based off of love.
Right.
It's not really always based off of true acceptance. It's really just, we're doing the same thing, so let's just hang together because we're doing the same thing. I really don't like you, or I might be jealous of you and what you have, but I still mess with you because there are benefits from hanging out with you. Mm-hmm. But that don't mean that I like you, or that I respect you, or that I actually care about you as a person. And so I think that a lot of times we see that, especially teenagers, and even sometimes into our early adulthood, especially when it comes to relationships. People will attach themselves to you because they see the benefits. And they don't really like you, or they don't want to be with you. But staying with you is a benefit. They get something from it.
Something, just enough to keep them around.
Right. And so a lot of times we see that in relationships, and we'll spend 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years in a relationship that's not going anywhere, just for comfort, or just for emotional attachment, or just feel like somebody is there and just not to be alone. Right. Because we have certain past trauma that it feels better to have somebody than to have nobody.
I was just going to say, you saying that.
Like all that you just said, I've been telling that, like I said, the key word is nobody wants to be alone, even though at the end we're going to go alone.
But being alone is not a bad thing.
It's not if you know you still not
and
alone.
In reality, we're never really alone, but we did come here.
You're not alone. Once you figure that, you're really not alone. Yeah. You know, you ain't got that person to have every night.
But you got you every night.
You might be alright. You should be alright. Because you're going to leave by yourself anyway. They could be by your side all this time in the bed with you, whatever, when you get ready to go, wherever, however you go. Right. But they can't go with you, really. They really can't go with you. You know? So it's like you got to be prepared for that to me. You got to be prepared at any time for that day. There's no people that in your corner that you, like you just said, you got to use discernment and just Weed out what you need to weed out. And see, like, I still, it's not bro.
I still love you. Just from right here.
Why she going on that? No, bro, I ain't with it. I'm not with it. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, sometimes that right there can have a monkey on your back. Say like, oh, Nancy, you know. But hey, you still got to keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going doing the right thing. You can't never turn the right wrong.
Right.
And to reiterate on that, for you to be able to say, no, I don't mess with you, or I don't do that, you have to first know and understand who you are and who you're not. And a lot of times that's the problem. We identify ourselves with so many outside things that we truly don't know who we are as a person. Sometimes we identify with our job. Oh, I'm a bus driver. I'm a policeman. I'm this. I'm that.
But really,
but who are you? Not what are you, but who are you?
Who are you?
That's the thing. People realize who are you and not what are you. I think the word kind of line up a little bit better. Just a little.
It's kind of like taking your clothes off when you're naked. Who are you? What do you see? That's who you are, not what makes you look like a certain thing. Who are you?
Like the Snapchat emojis and filters and stuff that the clothes is just filters. Still don't be that same. You know, but you get enhanced. That's an enhanced filter. But really, when that stuff wear out or happens, you still like, damn, I still got it. So you got to figure out.
And in my opinion, when you individualize certain things, or like I'm a bus driver, or I'm a mom, or you're putting a cap on yourself because we're limitless. We're a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? We're who we are. You just gotta figure out who that is. You know.
For sure.
So what was I about to ask you? When you answered him and said that it took a moment, basically dealing with the legal system. So how do you know for sure? Like I'll never go back there again, and what would you tell a young person that might be at the door that you were at, but they ain't opened it yet?
It's about making a decision. At the end of the day, you have to get to a point where you know and understand that either what I do want or what I don't want, and that thing has to be so imprinted in your mind that you make your decisions based off of one of those two things. And for me, I have both. I don't never want to have to go through that process, but I also want to live a life that's successful. And so for me, it's twofold. I have so many opportunities, and like I said, I've always been blessed. And so for me, I really just want to live a life that I can leave a legacy behind, a legacy of positivity. And so for the young man or young woman who is at that threshold of his or her next step can take them down the road of prison or death or abusive relationship or drugs. Before you take the next step, just figure out what it is that you truly want.
Yeah. And
a lot of times, figuring it out is only half the battle. Because then after you figure it out, you got to figure out, how do I get there? And so just continue first, but the first step is figuring out what it is that you want. Because when you figure out what you want, then you know that your next move will either take you closer to that or take you further away from it. So if you want to be a doctor, then you know that your next step shouldn't be to interact with a dude who living a lifestyle that's outside of what's going to help you get there. Because 9 times out of 10, they're going to distract you from what you're trying to do instead of assist you in what you're trying to do. Or it may be a dude who has a female that, you know, she wants what she wants now. And so that can be a distraction. I think that that's one of the main distractions, especially for a male, to really attach yourself with a female that does not have the same vision, have the same goal or same mentality that will aid and assist him in trying to get to where he wants to go. And for women, it happens quite often too, but really the power of association. That's one of the things that really reigns supreme in the lessons that I learned. Like hanging out with the guys who I used to hang out with, it took me in a certain direction, because if you in a group of people and y'all all heading in one direction, y'all all going in the same direction.
Literally.
But you have to separate yourself and really just find the path that's for you. But also, like, it worked in a negative way. Now it's working for me in a positive way. Mm-hmm. Now I have a mentor that's a member of the City Council of Red Oak. Now I have a mentor who is a part of the SCORE program. I have mentors instead of homeboys. Mm-hmm. So you just really got to navigate and redirect yourself from the negative to the positive.
Right. You still do the same thing, do you. Just when you want better, you move and do better.
Right. For sure.
Yeah.
I ain't good when you're doing better. You gotta stay consistent. You can't stop. That ain't no, oh, I done made it down there.
I can just move.
No, it's still lonely at the top. It's still hard work getting there to the top. And it's no, really, I like to say now where I'm, my age I am now, and the things I like you saying I've been through, having mentors and the homeboys, man, it's no top. Mm-hmm. It's no top.
And then the term lonely at the top, in my opinion, is not a negative thing. It's just you and you at the top. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's not a bad thing to think about.
It should be different. Like, it's no top because you steady growing and they just ain't growed up with you. That's all. They still there, but they just ain't growed up with you. That's all. You know what I'm saying? They stun their growth, or they not taking no growth juice for them to focus where you at. They want to be up there, but they got, I don't know, they got them limbs and stuff that's restricting them. They don't know how to pull away from them.
Right.
But if you're real strong-minded and, you know, smart, yeah, you know what decisions you need to make to keep going. Like I say, you got to stay consistent. That's why I say, all gas, no brakes.
Yeah.
There's really no brakes in this. It's not like they're going to give you no break just because you feel like you make.
Life is not gonna give you a break because you feel like you're not making it either. Like you have to
gonna keep on, so you gotta keep your foot on the gas. But if you're trying to keep up with it, just go with it.
Right.
Reality. But, you know, I'm saying learn every day. I have to learn something new today.
Right. Right. Motivational speaking. How long you been speaking?
Well, I started Toastmasters probably about 5 years ago.
What's that? What's that?
Toastmasters is an international speaking group.
Oh, okay.
Where, each meeting, you have different roles from speakers to evaluators to timers. To really, what it does is it hones in on communication and leadership. And so
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's international. And they have different offsprings of it, but Toastmasters is probably like the number one overall when it comes to motivation, well, speaking in general anyway, public speaking. So just getting into that and then having life experiences, that's where really the passion comes from. Mm-hmm. Having those life experiences, having situations that you have to overcome. It's because you can get up there and talk, but if you don't have experiences to guide you and to connect with the crowd, your audience, you have to be relatable.
Right.
Because you know those people who get up there and speak and nobody's paying attention to them because they're not relatable. But with being able to first communicate efficiently and effectively, not saying and you know what I'm saying, all those filler words where you can just communicate clearly and just speak and understand that it's okay to pause. It's okay to have that silence instead of saying Right. Give yourself an opportunity to think of what you're going to say next. But it also gives you a chance to really emphasize. Like, say, for instance, if I start talking to you right now and I start telling you a story, but then I pause. So what that pause does is makes you want to anticipate what's coming next.
Yeah, right.
You learn those different techniques, eye contact, voice, how you raise your voice and lower your voice in order to make certain points, hand gestures, body language. And so that's where it really came to me where I gave my first speech and it almost came natural.
Do you remember?
Of course I remember.
What did you speak about on your first speech?
Well, the first speech is always called an icebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
very true. I spoke 3 minutes.
Yeah, basically 3 to 5 minutes. And you speak about yourself. You speak about a topic that you know very well. And
did you talk about something specific or?
No, I didn't talk about anything specific. I just really got up there and just got to talk about just different things about myself. Like some of the things that I'm interested in. Something that I can speak about that I'm actually comfortable with, and actually just get the jitters and get the anxiety out and just really get comfortable being in front of people and speaking.
Yeah, so how do you feel about it now? It's 5 years later compared to that first time. Like now, do you even get nervous?
Oh, yeah.
I be nervous, but I don't be scared.
Every speech I get nervous because every speech is within itself. And at any time you can mess up. And so there's always this level of anxiety, like, what am I going to do this time? What am I going to say? Am I going to get it right? How am I going to say this? How am I not going to say that? What questions do I ask to get engaged? And so it's so many different things. And then me, I don't use notes.
Yeah.
Everything is in my head.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's the next.
I do bullet points, but I still, even when I did the brunch, I just caught myself trying to write a little, and I still didn't use it. I just don't.
I just feel like that you always get a chance to brainstorm. Like how when we write a essay or something, we brainstorm the word. That's how we do it when we're a speaker. You know what I'm saying? You brainstorm, like, how to do this. And then as it's happening, that's when all of it come together. And then, you know, it flows out. Even if you mess up, like you say, you pause, okay. Okay, yeah, so.
And even with speaking, I'm the person that would know you messed up would be you.
Yeah.
That's overthinking. I used to do that. I used to be sweating. I used to ask, like, you think I made sense to you? Now I don't second guess anything now, but I mean, it took a little minute, to get right there. But motivational speaking is whatever style. There's no right or wrong way to do it. You just have to mean exactly what it is you're saying and walk that. Walk that, it really is. It's not that simple, but it's that serious that that's the journey we're choosing, you know what I mean? Like, for real. Your soul purpose. What's your soul purpose? Pause. Don't answer that. Hold on. Wait, don't think. Let me ask this first thing. What did you want to be when you were growing up?
In the NBA or NFL.
Okay.
I want to be a professional athlete, if I'm truly honest. And I looked up, and I thought about this recently. I thought about role models. My role model was Allen Iverson and Michael Vick.
That was my second to last question. Who inspired you growing up?
Michael Vick, Allen Iverson. And remember, I had that attitude problem. Allen Iverson was the individual who said, practice for what? He was that individual that I have my own swag. I'm not listening to nobody else, and I'm gonna do it my way. And that's because I'm good. And I'm good at what I do. And so by him being my role model, I took on some of those attributes, some of those attitudes, and it carried over into my life. So one thing that I would tell a young person is be careful who you follow. Because 9 times out of 10, you're going to end up in some of the same situations that they end up in. And so let's look at Michael Vick. Crazy athlete. Got paid. He had all these different things, positives going for himself, but he didn't want to leave the hood. He didn't want to let go of some of the things that were part of his life.
Who was Mike Vick, the dude with the dogs?
Right.
Okay.
And then the same people who he was providing for were the same people that told him. And so, like I said, you gotta be careful who you follow because you will be in the same situation or very similar situations than the people that you look up to.
Right. So do you feel like you're fulfilling your purpose? You're walking in that focus, you know what I'm saying?
For sure. I'm definitely walking in my purpose. Just being part of the Torch program, assisting with these teens who are transitioning from high school into college and, just into the whole period. And going into prisons and speaking, going into different situations and leaning in and speaking to at these colleges and stuff. It gives me a sense of purpose.
That is.
It allows me to, one, everything that I lost, I'm able to give it to somebody else. And so for me, that's significance, that's purpose. So yes, I'm walking in my purpose because some of the same mistakes that I made, the people who I interact with, those young individuals who are in similar positions.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to make that same decision.
Right.
I can be the example. I can be the person who took the sacrificial steps, but to also come back and say, you know what, there's a lot of different alternatives.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be a basketball player to be successful. You don't have to be a rapper to be successful. There's people who are engineers. There are people who are flight attendants, pilots. So many different avenues that
Open your mind.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many different avenues that you can take in order to be successful and even live a better life than some of these athletes are doing.
Right.
I'm just go back to what you were saying, bro. You didn't lose, bro. You
Yeah.
didn't lose, bro. For real. I'm telling you, you didn't lose. And you know, I'm from, I ain't got through what all you went through, but you didn't lose, bro, because you look what you're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
You changing things around, man. You got people following, you got people encouraging and supporting. And I
Well,
like that. You didn't lose, bro.
reason.
That right there, that was a growth, what do I call it, a growth stuff. You know what I'm saying? That was something that made you trip to where you get where you at now. Like, damn, that kind of hurt. God damn, that hurt. You know what I'm saying? Let me not do that no more. So that's what you did.
Mm-hmm.
You resorted this.
Mm-hmm.
Real,
Mm-hmm.
You didn't lose, bro.
Not at
None
all.
of us lost, especially the ones that's doing good. We didn't lose.
Right.
Or we bumped our head and we woke up. Yeah. That's what I look at that like that. Cause sure, losing would be not being here no more in the iron gates. We're not there.
Wood says, shout out to Mr. Durden for making such a profound impact as a team life. Director and board president of Torch Teams Pro. Period.
So.
See? That's what's up. That's what's up. I'm getting to the comments before I ask my next one. Okay. Hey, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Yes. What's it always allows you to be more focused and at the top, even if it's only right facts.
And the thing about the top and being lonely, it's only lonely at the top if you're not bringing nobody else up with you.
Mm-hmm.
And the truth of the matter is, the higher you get, the less people will be able to go. But if you bring in one, maybe two people with you,
that's okay.
It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you won't be lonely.
Right.
But at the same time, you have to be very careful of the people that you meet up with. Because
you gotta be able to hold up.
Of either
the balance,
the weight,
the frequency, yeah.
The weight can bring you back down.
Mm-hmm.
They gotta have that same upward energy.
Like,
right?
Yeah.
They have to have the mindset of growth. They have to have the willingness and ability to grow too.
Mm-hmm.
So if you carry a dead weight, it's going to eventually pull you back down. But if you bring up people with you who have the same mindset, have the same goals, have the same vision,
right,
then you can bring them people with you, and it won't be lonely at the top.
Right.
That's true.
Right. I agree too. I definitely agree.
I feel like that's how, like, going back to the relationship. I think that's how when you find that one, that's how the relationship grows and y'all being able to, grow together and be upward together.
For sure.
We were talking about that earlier today, like really reflecting on our marriage and where we are today compared to even then. Not physically either, we mean mentally as one. Like, wow, you know what I'm saying?
I ain't always been Mr. Sweet Man over here.
I've heard the story. I've definitely heard.
Yeah, and I definitely admire what y'all have.
Thank you.
Because being able to have somebody that stand by you and really, inspires and uplifts you, but also willing to put in the work alongside you.
Right.
It's not somebody who you have to drag along, somebody who has the same vision.
Right.
You have one person who, quote unquote, leads the way, but you also have somebody who also is pushing you forward. And so that means together y'all moving at a faster pace than y'all would alone.
Right.
And then coming together and actually moving in synchronicity. It's like the wind is blowing up under y'all wings to push y'all higher and higher and higher. And so to really have a connection like that and to see that y'all are really working together on different things and actually moving on a path of walking in the same path. That's a beautiful thing to have somebody to share that with.
Thank you. We sure appreciate it.
It ain't been easy.
It has not been easy.
But we definitely going to keep going and definitely keep doing what we're doing. Shoot, like you said, that earth feel good, right?
It does. That breeze feel good to get across that neck, but no, seriously, it feels good and it's so possible. It's possible with witnesses, but you know, keep it raw. All around.
You got any kids or you got ladies?
My daughter is 19 and in college.
That's what's up.
I didn't feel saying that. I know.
I got 5 girls and 1 dude, so you know.
What dude?
So
wow.
My daughter's in college. She is
Congratulations.
Amazing young woman. She, you know, a lot of her life I wasn't there. And so I always give praises to her mother because I respect her for raising her to be the beautiful young lady that she is. My daughter is very manable. She's in college. She has a good heart. And I look at her, and every day that I do look at her, I'm proud of her.
Yeah.
And so she couldn't be who she is as a young woman if it wasn't for her mother raising her, even though her mother had her own issues and things that she would face. But she was able to raise my daughter in a way that really makes me proud. She talks, and when we have conversations, we have deep conversations. Like, it amazes me at the level of emotional intelligence that she has, because at her age, I wasn't thinking like that. But to actually sit down and get to know her as a person and really just listen to her and how she has developed is an amazing thing and something that, like I say a million times, I'm very proud of who she is as a young lady.
I heard you say you wasn't really in her life like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? How do you, when you finally came back in her, like, how do you, you know what I'm saying, how you do? Because I got a similar situation like that. I ain't seen my baby in about 2 years now.
Yeah.
I've been in and out of her life, though. You know what I'm saying? But to me, I know of her and somewhat of her, but I don't know her. And then, like, my situation a little different because it's like, to me, sometimes it's like I'm choosing not to deal with the drama, but it's like I already know once I reach out, it's going to be drama. It's going to be like, if they the judge telling me how to, you know, spend time with my daughter, you know what I'm saying? It's stay away or I don't even worry about it type shit. So I want to know when I finally do get a chance to see her again and to talk to her, like, how do I, you know, like, not think that she don't love or don't want to know me type thing. You get what I'm saying?
I definitely understand because it's something that I went through. Even now, like, our relationship is just now getting back on a path of we're actually I take her out to breakfast or I take her out to eat.
Yeah.
But for a while, we weren't even talking at all. And so coming back into a child's life, and I'm going to say this, it just really depends on what information a child is being fed.
That's what he
See, that's my biggest fear right there, because I just feel like they watching the herd, but I don't care. But I just feel like when I was with her mama, I seen how my baby mama's mother was treating her and her situation with her daddy type thing. So I feel like that's twofold what they doing, because when I do spend time, it's similar interactions and similar actions. So I'm like, man, they should know me. I ain't that type of cat that don't want to be in her life. I'm actually trying, like, I do want to be. If she come out this way, she's great. Like, she got other siblings that, you know, they know her, you know what I'm saying? But I want them to, you know, get that bond, but I can't because,
that's a very, very, very touching situation, bro. You got to understand, too, that, like I said, you got to understand the information that child is being fed. Because you gotta understand, children are very impressionable. And so they don't really have a high level of understanding to figure out why things are like they are. And a lot of times children blame themselves. Like, what did I do? What did I do that my dad didn't want to be a part of my life? What did I do to have to be in this situation? And so so with that mindset plus whatever information they're being fed, they are creating their own narrative about who you are as a person. And so you're not there in order to defend that narrative or who you really are. And so this is going to be the platform, the foundation of her interaction or his interaction towards you when you first become interacting with her or him. And so there's going to be bridges, there are going to be walls, there are going to be things that are built that you're going to have to overcome. And so you're going to face rejection. I face rejection. She told me at one point that she didn't even want to be a part of my life. But in that instance, bro, you got to understand that they're coming from a place of hurt. They're coming from a place of pain. They come from a place of not being able to understand. And so even in their rejection, you can't take it as just rejection. You got to still fight. But you got to still get in there. You got to, just like if you was on the streets and you was in a situation, bro, you can't give up. Because at the end of the day, it's your responsibility, bro. For me, it was a fight. And it's a continuous fight. It was hard for me to hear, I don't want to do anything to do with you. But I didn't stop. I gave her space, because you got to understand, my daughter, 18, 19 years old, she's quote unquote an adult. Right. By number wise.
A couple of years.
But at the same time, she still has that inner girl. And your son might have a little boy still inside her. That all that trauma, that missing, that absence, they're still carrying that in there with them. So when you come back, you gotta face that. You gotta face the results of your action, because at the end of the day, no matter if it is your baby mother or another individual who is feeding negativity, you chose that person to have a child with. And so at the end of the day, it's your responsibility. And that goes for a woman too. If you got a deadbeat dad, if you got somebody who, a father that's not being a part of that child's life, why would you beat them down? Because at the end of the day, you have to take responsibility for your part in it. Mm-hmm. And so many people miss that part. Mm-hmm. They don't take responsibility. They don't take on the acceptance of what role did I play in this. Mm-hmm. And so if you don't take that responsibility, it's easy to point the finger at the other person. And so for me, I don't have time. I'm not going to give up my power by pointing the finger at the other person. Because that's what you do. If you're somebody who always blaming, oh, it's my baby daddy, oh, it's my baby mama, you're giving your power to that person. Mm-hmm. Because the only thing that you can change is yourself. Mm-hmm. But if you focus on
how they move, you can't do nothing about that. Literally nothing.
But what you can control is how you respond to the situation.
Right.
You don't have to be a bitter baby mama. You don't have to be a bitter baby daddy.
Right.
But you can make the situation better. And the only way to make it better is change yourself instead of trying to point at the other person and blame them for what's going on. Because everybody played a role in the situation.
That's much needed.
Yeah.
Like, for real, much needed.
I figured out my next step.
Mm-hmm. What's next for you? Like, do you have any events coming up? Do you have...
I have a few speaking engagements coming up, but right now I'm planning for a conference in June 21st.
You did mention that, okay.
For the prevention of the youth going to prison and to assist some of the guys who have been to prison to transition back into society successfully. Yeah. Because in both instances, there are a lot of hurdles, a lot of obstacles that people face in both of those situations. And so for me, I think that bringing in people who have faced those situations, who can shed light and just putting together where it's an environment for being open, being vulnerable, and learning. Mm-hmm. Because that's the key to a lot of things, having that education, because a lot of people don't know that there are other opportunities. There are other things that can be put in place. But if you don't know, you won't go.
Right.
And so that's the whole idea of really just creating an environment for individuals who are facing both of those situations and really hopefully making some type of impact and redirecting some young individuals and putting some people who have been in that situation as far as prison to really get a solid foundation to build a life with purpose and not return. Because, as we know, the recidivism rate is about between 67 to 70 something percent. Mm-hmm. That a person who's released from prison returns to prison within 2 years. So that's a high number. And the percentage of people who are in prison, 85% of them, their parents went to prison also.
Interesting. Never thought about that fact. So that's the next big, that's the what we're really preparing for.
Right.
Is it open to the public?
Yes.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, we're planning to have it at Box Springs Library. So that's the main thing. I have different engagements coming up in between time. Even with the Torch program, we have a conference coming up in April. I think it's April 12th in Louisiana. We have different events that we're associating with and partnering with different organizations within Dallas, like the police department, Parks and Recreation, and just connecting on different levels with different organizations to really come in. I also want to give a shout out to Urban Specialists.
Okay, what up, Urban Specialists?
The Bishop Oakmore School of Entrepreneurship. I just graduated from that not too long ago, and they really making an impact in the community. So that's the reason why I really want to shout them out, because they're in the trenches and they're actually giving back and making a difference.
That's what's up. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. That's what's up. Okay. This has been so healthy. This conversation, we really appreciate you coming to Inner Self and shedding light on who you are and what it is that you do. Super inspiring, especially as a male. Like, I appreciate when everybody come, but I like when men speak up on their testimony, their stories, their feelings. Like, this is that safe space, you know what I'm saying? And so we really appreciate it. You coming out here and shedding light on anything. I mean, not anything, on everything that you have.
Man, I would appreciate it. Real.
It's dope to see y'all together. I've been hearing about you for these 15 years now.
Like, a lot of people I be talking to about it, like I said, from the neighborhood I grew up in, I see doing, like, we're doing good things, you know what I'm saying? And I'm proud to see the direction, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I know I heard stories, but I don't know everything, because I wasn't that dude, because I was going through my own stuff, so I'm like, dang, I just hope my nigga make it out type thing before I grew it up.
Before I grew it up.
Type stuff, so.
If y'all have any questions for him or for us, y'all can go ahead and drop them before we go ahead and close. I'm going to have you reiterate your socials where people can follow you and things of that nature.
So again, it's Deric, Deric, C. Durden on Facebook and Instagram. It's Deric D90 on TikTok. On LinkedIn is Deric Durden. And my website is Deric Durden LLC.
How do you build this website? Hold on, side note. How do you build a website? What's the first
I didn't build it. I paid somebody to build it.
Okay.
So, and it was one of my mentors, so I got it at a pretty reasonable cost. But she did amazing. Shout out to Tamika Denise.
Hey, Tamika.
Also to my mentor, Ricardo Miller.
What up, Ricardo?
And my brother, Isaiah Rucker.
What up, Isaiah?
These are individuals who positively influenced me and helped me get certain opportunities that I wouldn't have been able to get on my own. And so it's just a blessing to, again, remember the power of association also works positive. It just as well as it works negative. And so right now I'm working in the positivity of the law of association.
Alrighty. Super beautiful. Great conversation. Thank you, Woods. Thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate y'all so much.
Y'all learned a lot today.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Miss Woods too.
I'm about to say shout out everybody down here.
She ride. She gonna ride. Go ahead, bro. What you saying?
Yeah.
Shoot. Congratulations and just proud, man.
Look at these old schools over here having a conversation that they're growing up together. I'm just proud. We out here.
If you want to end the live, just go ahead.
I ain't gonna go to bed, man. You know what I mean?
Y'all stretching out. I know it's a little late now. I'm just playing. I'm
thankful. You know what I'm saying? Focusing and paying attention to me, what I got going too, or what we got
much
going.
Appreciate it.
You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, man, we was some knuckleheads.
Man.
From the area we were from. Shoot, I be shocking myself sometimes when I see me doing it. Like, man, I didn't even think about nothing like this when I was growing up. But then I had to think back, you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to my brothers and stuff.
Yeah.
When me and my brother Kobe was on the advisory council at the Pleasant Oaks recreation center, and we was coming up with plans and doing stuff like what you was talking, like what you talk about, what you do now. So I'm like, yeah, so that.
And then look where y'all are today on this very serious tip. Like, wow, y'all are very fine examples of like you can really turn your life around. And positivity does work, not even just publicly and for society, but for us individually. It starts from within. You literally have to understand who you are to even move like this, walk like this, and really mean that with so much passion, especially as men. So like it is over 20 years, y'all still connected, but to be in this frequency together, and I get to witness it after just hearing stories, and I be asking who was you before we, who was my husband then? So it really is mad cool to see this growth like that. I don't have to be around you all this time to even see it. Like I'm proud of the both of y'all, and it's really an honor to even have this moment. And it needs to be seen and like, wow, that's dope.
It's definitely a pleasure to be able to sit here with both of y'all and have this conversation and to just really share and for y'all to open up y'all platform in order to have me to pour into your viewers, because it takes a certain level of trust to trust people to come into your space.
Right.
And so for me, it's an honor and a privilege in order to be able to sit here and talk to not just y'all, but the actual people who follow and look up and respect y'all too. So it's definitely a pleasure to be able to sit here with y'all.
We sure appreciate it. We do. So this concludes our session with Deric this evening. I'm about to go ahead and close again. Thank you for tuning in to Inner Self Podcast. We're all about healing. I'm telling y'all, this is a different type of safe space when it comes to inner self. We just want you to be heard. Get your testimony out there. And remember, as y'all are telling us and talking to us in this space, y'all are helping us with our healing journey as well. You know what I'm saying? So like it's personal, and we appreciate it. Don't hesitate to reach out. We do offer virtual sessions as well. And if the day comes and you feel like it's going to be deep, but you're really not ready to be live, that is okay. We will still talk to you privately on FaceTime or whatever, Zoom, whatever creative stuff they have out there. We got y'all. You know what I'm saying? Again, Deric, thank you for coming in and self. Now you got to come to the Ivy experience. We're going to get even deeper and get this one-on-one eventually, when time will tell. You'll be back. You know what I'm saying? Welcome you back. But we're about to close. You can go ahead and pop your shit before I say my
I can pop us, shoot, y'all know what I see. Like I said, you see her, she posts a link pretty much. I'll link that to her too. So, but I am Mr. Latimers. I appreciate everybody that tuned in.
Yes.
I keep going, man. That's positive thing I'm gonna leave y'all. We just keep going.
I was just about to say yes. We gotta draw some positive affirmations to the people.
That was my positive affirmation. Keep going.
Yes.
Yeah, we keep going.
Deric, what you gotta say? What's your affirmation?
What you've been through does not have to define your future.
Thanks. Yes. Y'all know me by this point. Don't traumatize yourself for somebody else's comfort. Like, really, stay focused on you. Please heal. Start your healing journey. Do what's best for you. And whatever you ain't fucking with within yourself, change that for the better. It's just that simple. You can get there. You just got to stay focused, okay? I'm your girl, Keisha Nicole Ivy Latimer. If you need a mentor, holla at us. If you need a motivational speaker, holla at us. A life coach, holla at me. You can follow us here on Facebook in our group, on Inner Self Podcast group, the Ivy Experience. On Instagram, Goddess Ivy 1988. What's your Instagram again? I'm sorry. BZBoy83. God.
I'm gonna say this. I am gonna be having this stuff going on here, like some events on my YouTube. Our YouTube, I'm about to crank that up because I'm about to get a different space, a different background. So y'all be getting ready to tune into that. You know what I'm saying? We might be start doing some more podcasts in a different space too. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I keep
shout out to Plano Museum, by the way. Thank y'all so much for allowing us the space
y'all
to be
still
here.
Come check it out.
Yes.
Yes. A lot of history in here. They be doing events also. Real dope.
Dang, I can't remember. I'll just put it in the comments because I can't remember that event you told us about prior to. I can't remember. But yes, follow our YouTube. It's a Latimer Thing 2012. Follow us /me on TikTok I only have 3 pages. That's it. 15, 20 gonna come up. I only have 3. Grow with Ivy, Goddess Ivy 717, and it's a Latimer thing 2012. I'm locked out that page. I don't know how to. I'm gonna figure it out. Anyway, follow those pages, please. And again, if you're interested on being on Inner Self, DM myself, DM my husband, DM us. We got you. And yeah, we gotta take a picture. You gotta sign the book before we leave. But we're out this thing. Thank you, y'all. Let me make sure I ain't missing no. Thank you and welcome in. You're welcome, Rick. What up, though? What up, y'all? What up? Let me focus. See y'all later, because I've been got to talking some more. I appreciate everyone.